Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be addressing one of the most common questions I get asked, which is, can you provide me with an example of your voice agents or text agents? So in this video, I'm going to be walking you through an example of both of those systems and how they've actually worked out for one of our clients. So let me go ahead and dive right into this one. So this is a demo of an outbound voice agent. So the way this works is the client is running a lot of Facebook ads, so they're getting a lot of leads from opting in through the landing page. So once the lead opts in, they are then added to our CRM system on the back end, and then from our CRM, we then trigger the voice agent to make an outbound call as soon as that lead comes through when it's at its hottest. So as soon as the lead comes through, they follow this process where, first of all, we just confirm if it's the actual name of the prospect. And then if it is, we go down this path and we then just get their permission to actually have a conversation and see if they've got a moment to have a conversation and just to chat. If they do, then we move through here and we will go through and actually ask some pre-qualifying questions, just find out a bit more about what they're looking for and see if we can actually help them out. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive into a demo and we're actually going to see how this works in real life. Just so you guys are aware, the values here for the name and for the service name, they will be read out a bit weirdly by the agent because we're not actually passing through values, we're just testing it locally within Retail AI. But in reality, it would actually read out the name of the prospect and the service name they have actually opted in for. But yeah, let's just go ahead and test it out.
Hi, is this Je n'aime pas you?
Yeah, this is Rahul.
Hey, my name's Gracie calling from Scotland Energy Company. You inquired about a quote for Ishrawi's service _name. Rounds, do you have a moment to chat?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Brilliant, cheers Rahul. So just to get you booked in for your free quote, I'll need to take a few wee details to check if you're eligible. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Amazing. Could I just grab the postcode for the job, please?
Yeah, so postcode is EH5354.
Okay, perfect. And I've got you down as interested in a she service name. Is that right? Or is there something else you're looking for today?
Yeah, that's right. So I'm interested in heat pump installation.
Okay, perfect. Rahul, I just need to ask a couple of quick questions to check you're eligible for a heat pump installation. First off, do you own the property by any chance?
Yes, I do own the property, yeah.
Grand, cheers for that. And is it a house you've got or a flat?
Yeah, I live in a house at the minute, yeah.
Brilliant, thanks Rahul. Okay, so when would be best for our team to pop by and give you a quote? If you could let me know a couple of days and times that suit, I'll get it sent over to the team and we'll get you booked in.
Okay, perfect, yeah. So that's just the kind of first half of the automation. The rest is still sort of in progress and being built out, but this is an example of how the agent sounds, how it comes across. So the spec here was to build a actual Scottish sounding agent just to make it, sound local and sound a bit more friendly with residents. So yeah, you can see that the agent here actually has a Scottish accent. It uses, Scottish terminology. So yeah, it comes across in a much more friendly way. Okay, so now I'm going to be walking you through this other voice agent, which is a little more complicated, but it's built out for an insurance agency based in the US with, hundreds of branches across US. And the way this works is there's sort of two pathways. You can see at the top here, there's one sort of section, and then there's another section at the bottom here. So these are to separate handling inquiries within business hours and outside of business hours because there are different paths we follow. So you can see the logic node here. The way that works is, so if the current time is between these working hours, and then it's obviously not a kind of national holiday, it would redirect up top, and that would be for handling inquiries during business hours. If it's outside of business hours, it would come down bottom here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through an example scenario. You can see how it works here in a bit more detail. You can see that there are specific scenarios which the prospect might handle and might ask for, and those are all sort of managed in a different way, right? And you can see the same for inquiries made outside of business hours. There's various different pathways. If it's obviously an accident, damage, crash, incident, that sort of stuff, we then direct to the 24/7 help team to get the person help as soon as possible. And that's pretty much how it works. So there's different nodes here where we're transferring the call over. And yeah, it really depends on the scenario in terms of like how we actually handle it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through an example scenario here. So let me just find the best one. So we don't want this to be transferred over. So yeah, perfect. Yeah, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be requesting a quote. So we're going to be making an inquiry about a quote here. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in.
Thank you for calling FB Insurance. This is Phoebe. How can I help you?
Hi Phoebe, I just wanted to get a quote for home insurance.
I'd be happy to help with a quote. I just need to ask a few questions first to get started. All right, can I start by getting your name, please?
Yeah, so my name is Rahul.
Thanks, Rahul. Could I get your phone number, please?
Yeah, sure. You can call me back on this phone number that I'm calling you from right now.
Got it, Rahul. So you're looking for home insurance, right? Do you currently have any insurance coverage?
Yeah, so I'm looking for home insurance and no, at the minute I don't have any coverage. Yeah.
All right. All right, Rahul. How long have you been without coverage?
Well, just a week or so. I've only just purchased my new house.
Thank you for that information, Rahul. I'm going to send this to our team right away. Someone will call you back as soon as possible to discuss your quote. Is there anything else we can help you with today, Rahul?
No, nothing else. That's all I needed. Thanks.
Awesome, Rahul. Thanks for calling Farm Bureau. Have a great week and feel free to call back if you need anything else.
Yeah, perfect. So that's pretty much how the agent works. You can see it takes the lead through a really specific process here. So if there are different scenarios where we might need to transfer over the call, so let's go into one here. So if they want to speak to a person straight away, people might be adamant on actually speaking with a human rep or speaking with someone from the company, then they would come through this top node here, and they would basically be transferred over. If the transfer fails for whatever reason, we also handle that as well. And basically collect details to then be able to give them a call back. Off the back of these systems, you can also trigger email reminders. You can set up WhatsApp reminders. You can direct emails or WhatsApp notifications or even text notifications to different members of the team if necessary as well. So yeah, there's a huge amount of sort of external systems you can do off the back of this. So obviously the main benefits of having something like this, especially this one here, which is just kind of an inbound receptionist, is the fact that you're never missing a call because you're always answering them 24/7. So, those 3 to 5 calls you might be getting per day outside of working hours are always going to be answered and always going to be handled in the correct way. So you would always be able to collect details regarding what they're looking for. And if it's a potential lead, your team will be able to get onto that as soon as possible. Obviously, if people are calling and then they don't get through, then 80% of those people are actually don't end up calling back. So that means you guys end up losing a lot of potential customers in that process, and that could translate into thousands of additional revenue per month, right? So that's kind of the main benefits of having a 24/7 inbound voice agent. Obviously, with an outbound voice agent, the fact that you are on top of that lead as soon as possible is really, really key there because, speed to lead ultimately wins. Especially with these AI systems come out, having that speed to lead means that you are, infinitely more likely to actually convert leads than your competitors. So yeah, that's pretty much an overview of the voice systems. Now, if I just dive into a quick example or a quick couple of examples of how the text agents work, you guys can see how that pans out from here. So this is one of our clients based out in the UK running a series of Kung Fu studios. So they currently have over 30 branches across the area here in the UK. So the way this works is when a lead comes through from paid ads, they are automatically being monitored and stayed on top of by our WhatsApp AI agent. So this is an example conversation of one of the leads that have come through. So what happened here is the AI agent sends this initial message just to get a simple kind of yes or no response, get that conversation flowing. So it just asks them if they live locally, and the lead has said that yes, they do. And you can see here within a couple minutes, the AI actually continues the conversation, it responds to the lead, and it keeps that conversation flowing, and also answers their questions. So you can see here, it finds out a bit more about why they are actually interested in joining, what made them interested. And you can see here if it's then sort of given a response based on what the person has said. And obviously within a minute here, it then responds back. Sounds just like a human, sounds friendly, has the right tone and voice of the actual business, which is obviously really important, right? It is very, very much possible to implement these AI agents in a way where they just sound like a chatbot. They use emojis left, right, and center. They don't actually render responses in the correct possible way. So setting up your AI agents in the right way, with good prompt engineering, feeding it a good knowledge base, is really important if you want to be able to mimic the tone of voice of the actual business. And you can see exactly how that works here, right? So what happens here is we ask the prospect a series of different questions, just to find out a bit more about their experience, about if they have any questions. And you can see here that this prospect had a series of different questions. So the agent was able to handle those, really, really fast within a couple minutes, within a minute there, and ultimately get the lead booked in. So you can see that the prospect is obviously really happy with the way the agent has helped, and they then go in to actually book through the system, and then they get a bunch of confirmations, they get reminders, and the agent actually stays on top of them in terms of actually getting them to show up as well. So that's pretty much how the WhatsApp agent works. And you can see it's really, really streamlined in terms of getting these through, pushing them through, getting them booked in the fastest way possible. And now you can see how it works for an online coach as well. And you can see how the tone of voice is also different for this particular business, right? So you can see here that the way we started this is we're just confirming if it's the actual prospect. So we just say, hey, is this name of prospect? And then the prospect says, yes, it is. Hope you're good. And then we actually are offering a free 10-minute nutrition call, so we get them to actually push through to that. So the way that works here is when the lead actually responds, it will get them booked in, and you can see that it also follows up with them. So you can see the lead actually didn't respond to this or didn't book in, and then 24 hours later, they get another follow-up message, and the conversation starts flowing. And you can see how the AI comes across in a bit more of a sort of friendly way, a bit more kind of informal, and sort of, just has that nice kind of chat with the person, tries to build that rapport with them and build that level of trust to be able to get them to book in. So you can see here, obviously, they're asking about cost, and the agent is kind of trained on how to handle that. So it says we have a range of different options for different budgets and goals. So yeah, that's pretty much how the conversation works. And then this specific prospect also went in to book in their free 10-minute nutrition call. So you can see that's pretty much how these AI agents work. That's an example of the text-based agents, and then also the voice agents as well. So if you want a system just like this for your own business, maybe combining both the text and voice agents together to create an AI infrastructure of agents which can actually work for your business to handle the sales process, get the leads flowing through the system, then feel free to book in a call with myself via the link in the bio, or even just drop me a message on LinkedIn, or just get in touch however you want. You can drop a comment down below. Whatever you guys want to do, just drop me a message if this actually is something that would help you out. And yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully this was useful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.